Woo.
Welcome everyone to Strange the World, episode number 4, featuring Adam Millard. Millard, son of a bitch. Hold on, let me get me back. Hang on, let me get me back here. All right, I'm back. All right, hey! My name is Kevin Strange. I am your host, along with Strange House Books editor-in-chief, Sean Ferrari. Hello! Hey. It's good to see you guys. Listen, hey, I had not planned on doing another Strange the World vidcast until we had the Strange Sex 2 submissions all sorted out, and we had our cast for the book, and we were going to invite everybody on the next episode of Strange the World, and then we were going to have like a crazy free-for-all with as many cameras as we could get, and just a bunch of chaos. We haven't done that yet, but listen, it's been such a cool week in literature that I just got excited, and I wanted to do this again. And we sort of never had a chance to. We stopped our podcast in November, and we started doing these in April, and so there was this weird gap, and we signed our guest tonight, Adam Millard. We signed him with his book HAMSTERDAMNED, and we never got to talk to him on the podcast, and we hadn't talked to him on the vidcast yet. So I wanted to kind of back up and talk to our buddy Adam about his book HAMSTERDAMNED and what he does. He's a very interesting member of our team because Adam Millard is the only member of the Strange House Books roster of authors who is a full-time writer. And we've been talking to John Bruni and Danger Slater about their efforts to get published and their plans for the future, and the fact that they would both like to be writing full-time for a living. We actually get to talk to a guy who does just that. He writes full-time for a living. So we're going to talk to Adam tonight, and we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, and we're going to learn how he achieved that feat, what it's like to be a full-time author and father, and why he decided to write a book about giant mutant hamsters attacking a poor city like Amsterdam. But before we get started with Adam, we've got a few things to talk about. It's been a big week, gang. First of all, I'm completely unprepared for the first thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. So let me this is my elevator music. All right, I'm ready. How you doing over there, Sean Ferrari?
Oh, I'm doing just dandy. How are you, Kevin Strange?
Well, I'm all right. Adam, are you hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you.
All right, we're gonna.
I like your background, Adam.
He's got a great background. All right, so first of all, hang on. Did you guys follow me to my desktop, or are you still?
No, still your
All
mug.
right. There we go.
Whoa.
All right, so Danger Slater and I, we released our book. Here it is, Stranger Danger, available on Amazon.com for Kindle or for your paperback. Also, ooh, look at that back cover. Ooh, yeah, you could pick that up now for $2.99 on Kindle, or apparently $10.34 is a great price for the paperback. So check that out on Amazon.com. You can find the links over on StrangeHouseBooks.com. That's where we're at over here, and completely unprepared. I had another link over here, and it's gone now. What was I gonna? Oh yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about was we started doing the Strange Story Saturdays. We've been doing them for a couple of months now, but Strange Story Saturdays are now brand new. They're brand new stories. When you email John Bruni at strangestorysaturdays@gmail.com, we are now publishing stories like The Other Half by Zoltan Komar. That's these flash fiction stories here. You can, submit your fiction to John Bruni. Every Saturday we're going to be posting a new... What is going on? Sean Ferrari, what are you doing over there?
What do you mean?
This fucking shit of people walking in your room and interrupting me.
It's it's Katie, because once again we have trouble connecting. It just keeps saying calling for her.
Well, good. I mean, if it wouldn't be a Strange the World if it wasn't some kind of an issue going on with your freaking connection over there. Sean Ferrari, Katie Dearest.
Fuck you, pal.
So, what do you think about these Strange Story Saturdays, Katie Dearest?
She can't hear you because I have the headphones in, dumbass.
Oh, he talking shit now?
No, he asked it what you think of the Strange Stories Saturdays.
Oh, well, in that case...
He did the opposite of talking shit.
Yes, let me tell you. Sean Ferrari.
All right.
Sean Ferrari, we got one more piece of news before we jump into our show
Oh,
today.
there was a question.
Dude,
for me.
he's...
Adam's over there like, I thought this was a freaking
every
show.
time. All right, what were you saying?
Sean Ferrari, we have another piece of news this week in the world of Bizarro fiction.
Mm-hmm.
The preliminary ballot for the Wonderland Award has been released. What is the Wonderland Award, Sean Ferrari?
Wonderland Award is the Best Bizarro Award.
Well, that's given out once a year up in Portland at BizarroCon, but the preliminary ballot is chosen by you. The public gets to narrow down the choices down to the, I believe it's the top 3 or the top 4 or 5 best novel and the top 4 or 5 best short story collections for the year. So let's go over and take a look at what the ballot looks like this year.
Woo!
Let's get over there. Nope. Let's get over there. Okay, here we go. So over on BizarroCentral.com, you can check out the Wonderland Book Award preliminary voting. Voting for the Wonderland Book Award preliminary ballot begins now for the Best Bizarro Novel and Best Bizarro Collection of 2013. Please send your first, second, and third place votes for the novel and collection categories to bizarrocon@yahoo.com with the subject line Wonderland Book Award preliminary ballot. Note to authors and publishers, please don't solicit or campaign for votes. Sean Ferrari,
Yo.
do you know how much I solicited and campaigned for votes last year?
You did it quite often.
That was apparently a bad idea. So this is completely neutral. This, what we're going to talk about today, we are not going to promote our own selections. We are simply, this is me trying to help get the word out that the ballot exists. This is not me trying to pander for an award, right? So we're gonna take a look at
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at what's on the ballot this year. For novels, look at the size of this. Look at all these Bizarro novels that were published in 2013. It is a great, great time to be a Bizarro author. We've got Japan Conquers the Galaxy. I'm gonna massacre these names by Kirsten Allen. Does that look right? Sean Ferrari. What is that name?
Elaine, maybe? I don't know.
All right. Thunder Pussy by David Barbie. What happened? Hello? Hello? Is everybody there?
I'm here, I think.
It just said you muted me. Quit fucking around.
I didn't mean to mute you. I don't know how I did that.
Quit playing with buttons.
Put the phone down, Katie. It's always something with you two. It's always something. I'm trying to go over the ballot for the Wonderland Awards.
I suck at life.
Where were we, Sean Ferrari?
I don't know.
Thunder Pussy by David W. Barbie. Is that Barbie?
Yeah.
8-Bit Apocalypse by Amanda Billings. I met her. She was nice. Shatner Quest by Jeff Burke. I'm reading that right now. Motherfucking Sharks by Brian Allen Carr. The Cheat Code for God Mode by Andy DeFranceca. That is a nice lady. She helped. She helped get the webcam going for the Bizarro Hour that we did late last year. Was that in January? Was that early this year? Or was that in December?
It was whistling.
I don't know who's whistling. Santa Claus Saves the World by Robert Devereaux. Cucumber Punk by P.A. Douglas. Son of a Bitch by Andre Duza and Wrath James White. I'm reading that right now, too. Hey, we're publishing a book by Andre Duza this year, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
What's it called?
Which one did we decide on?
I don't know. The Mondo Vixen Massacre by Jamie Greffy? What is with these people's names? What is that? Grief?
I don't know. I'm looking up which one we're doing.
Jamie Grief. Can you see this?
Griff.
The Party Lords by Justin Grimble. That's a crowd favorite right there, ladies and gentlemen. Party Lords by Justin Grimble. Everybody that reads that book loves it. All Art is Junk by R.A. Harris. Alien Smut Peddlers from the Future by Kent Hill. That's one of our books. The Afterlife Story of Port Knuckles Blown by M.P. Johnson. M.P. Johnson's a good guy. Let's give it up for M.P. Johnson. Yeah, we've got some stories published by him, too. Moose Jaw Frontier by Chris Kelso. Chris Kelso's a good guy, too. Death Machines of Death by Vince Kramer. He's a funny dude. He always posts action figures fucking each other on Facebook. You Are Sloth by Steve Lowe. This is actually this is a really good. This book's got a lot of good positive press around it too. Fat Off Sex and Violence by Shane McKenzie. I think he writes about as much as you do, Adam Millard. He's a very prolific writer. Clusterfuck by Carlton Mellick III. Cuddly Holocaust by Carlton Mellick III. Quicksand House by Carlton Mellick III. Village of the Mermaids by Carlton Mellick III. Fantastic Earth Destroyer Ultra Plus by Cameron Pearson. Jim, god damn it, I don't know how to pronounce Jim's last name. Agpalaza? What's happened?
Sean left the
What happened?
call.
Why did Sean leave the call?
I didn't touch a button this time. You can't blame it on me.
Something happened on my phone. Missed video call from Adam, Katie, and Sean. I don't know. Let me invite him back. It says we're still live. I'm not talking to myself. Invite to Sean. Ferrari. He's calling me now. He's calling me. Hello? Hello? Katie! Yeah. Bye. Hello?
Oh, he joined now. I see him.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me, Kevin? Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it just me and you?
Sean's muted.
God.
There it is.
I'm
Well, all right. That one wasn't my fault.
That wasn't my fault.
I signed out on my Gmail account to go check the Strange House email about the Andre Duza book, and it signed me out of this and kicked me off. And then there was no invite in my email when I went back in.
That's fascinating.
So.
Cool story, bro.
Hey, fuck both of you. How about that? You go let your kid fucking yell some more.
Oh,
and
damn.
interrupt everything.
Damn. Where were we? Fantastic Earth Destroyer Plus by Cameron Pearson, Jim Akpalaza. I'm sorry, Jim, I don't know your name. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not good with pronouncing names.
Akpalza.
Akpalza. That's good enough for me. Grambo by Dustin Reed.
Now Katie got kicked off.
Basal Ganglia by Matthew Revert. There's No Happy Ending by Tiffany Scandal. She's a good lady. I like that book. I read There's No Happy Ending. It's a really good book. Dreams of Amputation by Gary J. Shipley. Babes in Gangland by Bix Scahill. Damnation 101 by Kevin Sweeney. That's another one of our books. Vampire Guts in Nuketown by Kevin Strange. That's another one of our books. Woo. Church of TV is God by Daniel Velasti. He's a good dude. You just read a story from him, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. For Strange Sex 2, right? Yeah. Notes from the Guts of a Hippo by Grant Waymack. Party Lords by Justin Grimble. That's another crowd favorite. Dinner at the Vomitropolis by the freaking weirdo Jesse Wheeler. That's one of our books. And Bigfoot Crankstomp by Eric Williams. And down here in the collections, we've got Tales of Questionable Taste by John Bruni. Yeah, he was our guest on the last show. It's one of our books. Time Pimp by Garrett Cook. That book is making the rounds too. Paper Mache Jesus by Kevin L. Donaghy. He likes to wear very tiny, small underwear and post pictures of it on Facebook. Clown Tear Junkies by Douglas Hackle. That's a crowd favorite. That's by our buddies over at Rooster Republic Press. Zombie Sharks with Metal Teeth by Stephen Graham Jones. Hammer Wives by Carlton Mellick III. Last Gig on Planet Earth and Other Strange Stories by Kevin Strange. That's one of our books. And Dangerama by Danger Slater. That's another Rooster Republic book by our buddy Danger. So that's what the thing looks like, gang. And all you got to do is you go to send an email to bizarrocon@yahoo.com. You pick 3 novels, and you pick 3 collection books, and you vote. And the voting gets narrowed down to, like I said, 3 or 4 or 5. I can't remember which. And then they at BizarroCon, the attendees of BizarroCon, they get a ballot and they get to choose off that list, and they pick the winner of BizarroCon at BizarroCon, and you win the Wonderland Award. So that's all there is to it, gang, and that's our big award for the year. And what's got me so excited about this thing this year, guys, is it's fucking it's easy to get disheartened by that list, because it's the people that run Eraserhead Press also organize BizarroCon, and as you can see, the majority of that list is books released by Eraserhead Press. So a lot of time, I've heard a lot of criticisms of this award, that it's basically Eraserhead Press giving themselves an award every year. But as you can see, they're expanding. Bizarro fiction is expanding to a point where it's not just, and to be fair, sometimes they release 85 books in a year, so they're picking 1 out of 85 books. It's not exactly patting yourself on the back, you know what I mean? So, but this year they have expanded this. They've included Strange House, they've included Rooster Republic and Bizarro Pulp Press, and we all have books on this thing. And while we're not encouraged to go out and pander for awards, we have just as much of a chance of winning that award as anybody. And I'm very proud to be on that ballot. I'm proud of my authors on Strange House being on that ballot, and I'm proud of every single one of those authors, because there's no other, it's only one time a year that authors of our weird shit get recognized and honored for what we do, and that's important to me. For me, those kind of rituals are important, because whether you think that it's just all all political and who or whatever, it's still those ceremonies and going through that process and winning an award like that, giving an acceptance speech, and being able to put that award on your resume for the rest of your career, that means something to an author, whether you believe it or not. Whether you want to be cynical and act like, well, as an author, I don't care about awards, that's just a bunch of bullshit anyway. That is bullshit. We all strive. We don't sit down and write our books and say this is going to be the award-winning book, but it does mean something to get recognized by your peers. It has an effect on you. It has an effect on your fans. It has an effect on your peers, and it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. I appreciate it. It's a competition, but it's a friendly competition, and I embrace it. And like I said, I just showed you guys the whole list, not to toot our own horn or to pander for your votes for our books, but just to show you that this award exists, and to encourage you as fans of Bizarro Fiction to go vote for your favorite book this year. This is our one opportunity to be recognized, and you as the fans, this is the one opportunity for your voice to be heard. So let's do this. Do it. Sean, have you voted yet?
No, not yet.
You wanna speculate on what you might be choosing for your choices, or do you want to keep that to yourself?
Well, I'll keep it to myself, because if I say you, then I'll look like an asshole. And if I say somebody else, I'll look like an asshole.
Fair enough. Adam Millard, have you voted?
Yeah, you don't have to say me. I'm not even nominated.
Not well, but you will be next year.
Well, this is it.
Hamsterdam will be next year. Look at what's behind you. You're already campaigning. Look behind Adam Millard. He's campaigning for BizarroCon 2014, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk to you, Adam. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's kind of we're still sort of working the kinks out of this thing. It's still kind of weird, and we had Fred Slow. Let's give it up for Fred Slow, ladies and gentlemen. Fred Slow was our producer at the Reading the Monsters podcast, and he kept shit like this from happening on our show over there. But we don't have him. It's just me, and I can't help Sean Ferrari's webcam nonsense. Do we have anybody?
I can't help it either. I apologize.
Do we have anybody in the chat room, Sean Ferrari?
Good old Pedro Proenza, as usual.
Adam Millard said that he would be offended if Pedro Proenza didn't show up to this particular episode. So let's give it up for Pedro, ladies and gentlemen.
John Bruni, he's in there.
All right, John Bruni.
Yeah,
Welcome to the show, John Bruni.
And Nick Brian Walters.
Oh, hey, Nick Brian Walters is a cinematographer from Hack Movies. Ask him if he has a cam. Tell him in the 8 o'clock hour we'll talk to him on cam. We're gonna devote this to Adam though. This is Adam's show, so we're gonna get right into it. Adam Millard. I forever got it as Adam Millard in my head. I apologize. Adam Millard. Welcome.
Hello.
What's up, Mr. Millard, with your backdrop there? What is that?
This is HAMSTERDAMNED. This one's HAMSTERDAMNED. This one's HAMSTERDAMNED. Pretty much HAMSTERDAMNED all the way along. Which is a book of mine, which you guys published, which I'm thrilled to bits with, and it's about giant mutant hamsters in Amsterdam. Because that's the only pun that would work, really. I'm pretty much a pun sort of person. If I can get away with it, then I'll just make up some crazy word like HAMSTERDAMNED.
Yeah, I dig it, man. I love the name. I love the cover art. I love the concept of the thing. And we talked before. We did an email interview for when the book was released, and we talked about your inspiration for it being the Sci-Fi Channel cheesy big monster movies. How do you feel now that we're on the other side of that? We got your book put together. You've been taking it to conventions, haven't you?
Yeah, we've done a few conventions with it now. It's been selling really well. So
yeah, people reacting well to it.
Yeah, people are loving it, but because of the cover, a lot of children are getting confused.
Right.
I think it's. I mean, I still sell it to them.
You know.
I usually say to the parents, like, it's not for kids. Because Bill Hare's work is tremendous.
Yes.
Bill did the cover for it, and a couple of people picked it up expecting it to be fully illustrated on the inside as well, thinking it was a graphic novel.
Right.
But no, it's got words and things. So
yeah, we get that a lot too. Both of those, we get people come, because one of the things we strive for at Strange House is to have those really eye-catching, popping covers like that. And people think, first of all, kids all over the conventions come up and try to buy. They go up to Strange Sex because it's purple and it's got stuffed animals on it, and they run up and grab it. That's always uncomfortable. And then and people always think that they're like are these graphic novels? I'm like, no, dude, no, it's fiction. They're like, oh, fiction, never mind. But 1 in every 30 of those people actually buy one. So Adam Millard, you are a writer. You are what
I'm
people
a writer of fiction.
You are what people would call a novelist. You novelize for a living. Is that correct?
I don't know. I used to call myself a novelist, but it sounds quite pretentious. I'm a hack.
You know what? I don't believe that. I've loved everything I've read from you. I think you're my favorite story of yours is "Help, My Ass Has Rabies." Now, no hack could possibly have written that. Tell us a little bit about. Go ahead.
Sorry.
What would you say? You were saying something?
No, sorry. You said.
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask you.
Tell you a bit.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what Adam Millard, the writer, is. What are you, Adam Millard, the writer? Let's talk about your career. You published your first book. You published your first book a long time ago.
Yeah, it was 10 years now, I think.
2004. What was the title of that book?
Yeah. It was called Only in Whispers, and it was quite serious. It dealt with a lot of family abuse and a lot of horror still. I mean, it was a horror book, but it was very, I don't know, it was more Richard Lehman than what I write now.
Right.
Because I kind of grew up with Richard Lehman, and I wanted
Sure.
to do that kind of chilling.
More atmospheric than action oriented.
Yeah. I was really into all of Lehman's work, and I think I was trying to emulate him a little bit too much, but it got published. So
Now, was that the
was
first book you wrote, or was that just the first book that got published?
that was the first book that got published, the first full-length piece that got published. Yeah, I don't think I hadn't written anything full-length before that. It was mainly short stuff before
So
that.
you had told me before you got a typewriter when you were a child, when you were like 13 years old, and you started writing. Was it something that you knew even at that young age with the typewriter? Did you know that's what you wanted to do for a living? Did you know you wanted to be, as pretentious as the term is, did you know you wanted to be a novelist even at 13 years old?
I think at 13, I wanted to be a film critic. I used to watch a lot of films, and yeah, I wanted to write for like my local paper, which is still running now, but I don't think they actually do film things anymore. So it's a good job. I steered away from that.
So you had an interest in journalism to start your carear. When did that? On the typewriter, were you typing up movie reviews back then?
I was writing space operas. These really sort of lame serial space opera type things that were with characters with just consonants in the name.
That's fantastic.
You know the type of thing. It's
absolutely.
Not really. That's what I was writing, and but I was a bit ahead of myself in a way, because I actually wrote something that was quite pornographic in a way that it was for an assignment for school. But when I showed it to my English teacher, she thought it was just beyond what they expected a 15 or a 14 or 15-year-old to write. Because I've been reading Stephen King and Dean Koontz, and everybody else had been reading Goosebumps, and I think it was sort of, they weren't expecting it. I'm quite embarrassed by it now, because if that English teacher's still alive and she's like, she read that and it was quite filthy really for a 15-year-old.
But she looked past that, and she recognized your talent.
It was in, but no, she just wanted a word.
That's awesome, man. So what did she tell you? Did she tell you?
As a 15-year-old boy, that's the kind of thing that goes through your head. It's like, yeah, she's keeping me behind for a reason. She'd read my porn.
So did she encourage you to explore your writing further, or did she just compliment you on the project, or how did that go?
Yeah, she complimented me on it and said that it was really good and really mature, which is I've probably regressed in a way.
That's not uncommon, man. That's not uncommon.
I used to write mature things when I was 15, and now I write about giant mutant hamsters.
That's awesome, though, and I kind of did the same thing when I started writing fiction. I had kind of a weird. I don't have the same path that most authors took, but even when I switched to fiction from writing films, I went into that mode of trying to write really atmospheric, suspenseful, kind of quiet horror, and eventually it was like, fuck this, I'm going to write about giant monsters killing shit. It's just I don't consider it a regression as much as it you start with what you know, and then you get brave and you take chances, and once you have finally developed your voice and the strength of that voice, and you know what you're capable of, you go to what you enjoy. You have fun, And that's, obviously, like you said, you enjoy those big cheesy sci-fi monster movies with a bunch of words, smashed together, and that's great. And that's, a lot of times that's what your passion project is going to be. That might not be the book that's going to pay your bills, but that's the book that you get excited about. Sometimes, I don't know if you write like this or not, but a lot of people, they do the one for you and the one for me type of thing, where they'll write to their audience that they know is going to pay their bills, which might not be the type of fiction that you're necessarily most passionate about. And then the next complete that one, sell it, make sure you get paid, and then you write one that you love, that's a personal book, and then back and forth like that. Is that the way you work, or are you strictly writing what you love?
No, I mean, I sort of, because I was writing a lot of zombie fiction, and this was just before everybody started writing zombie fiction, and that was the stuff that was paying the bills. So I did one zombie book, and then I took a break, wrote something else, but then I realised that wasn't selling as well as the zombie stuff, so I wrote another zombie book, and then a third, and then but then I stopped writing the zombie stuff, mainly because I was being referred to as a zombie author,
right?
At conventions and things, and it'd be like, "Oh, special guest zombie author," and and it was getting to me a little bit. You were
like, I don't just write zombies. I have giant mutant hamsters in me.
Yeah, I write about giant mutant hamsters. I write about rabies. I write, I'm a man of many visions. That's but yeah, no. So I did. Even though the zombie stuff was selling and still sells really well now, I think it was good to, write other things, even if they're not selling as well. But I wasn't enjoying writing about zombies anymore.
Right.
There's only so much that you can write about zombies, I think, unless you're doing something completely brand new.
Right. Definitely. Definitely.
Like, I don't know. I think it's all been done, but I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, pretty much what I've noticed is, and it's kind of similar with music, the only thing that's left is fusion. The only thing that's left is trying to figure out, like, well, here's zombies and something else that you haven't seen zombies with yet, as opposed to trying to find an original concept to involve zombies. But it's the same thing with vampires or werewolves. We've the legacy of horror fiction and monsters is a long one, and it's very difficult to find that originality. And I actually find that a lot of creative people early on, they get discouraged by the massive amount of stories that have been told, be it in fiction or comic books or in movies. They find it so intimidating. There are no original ideas. What is my voice gonna add to this vast this vast catalog of fiction that's already been done? And that's in any genre. Action books have been done. Tom Clancy, what are you going to add to Tom Clancy's genre that he hasn't already added? It's all been done. So as an author, and not only as just an author, but Adam, you are a prolific author, and I've always, for whatever reason, I've been drawn to prolific filmmakers and authors and musicians. My biggest inspirations are someone like Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie, even after he became a filmmaker, has never stopped writing albums and touring. He does an album, a tour, and a movie every year. He is a workhorse. He never stops. And when you read or watch interviews with him and his guitarist John Five, they have this rhythm that they've fallen into, where they're always either in the studio recording or in post-production or out on the road doing live shows promoting the new album, or they're filming a movie and going to movie premieres and then promoting a new movie. And with someone like Stephen King or Carlton Mellick, they, in the fiction world, they are always they finish one project and it's right on to the next. And Adam Millard, I'm never going to stop calling you Adam Millard. Adam Millard is the author of, what are you up to now? 15 novels?
16 novels, I think. 7 novellas, close to 200 short stories, something.
So for Adam Millard, it goes from one project to the next, right? You try to write every day, 2,000 to 4,000 words. You do have a 3-year-old son though that you
Yes.
take care of full time. Has that knocked your 2,000 to 4,000 word count down?
Yeah, the 4,000 word count now is definitely that's down to 2, but it's a small price to pay, really. I mean, this is why, because I'm actually in something that I treated myself to a caravan, and I'm actually in my caravan now. And this was because on an evening when my wife gets back from work, then I've got somewhere to go to actually just concentrate and write without, you know, somebody hanging off my balls or, you know, just pulling me, or it was just a little personal space, because when you've got a child, as anybody who writes knows, you're not getting anything done. You're getting nothing done. You can sit there and think, right, I'm going to write, but if you've got a child, you might as well just forget it.
Every 5 minutes, it's something else. You gotta maintain.
Yeah, every 2 minutes. If he slams the laptop down, he runs in the kitchen, and like Sam, I mean, he's always bumping into things. So you've got to give to obviously your child, and so I treated myself to a caravan so that I could get my work done.
And even so, you're still getting anywhere between 14,000 and 28,000 words a week done. Is that a fair estimate? That is, you know, a 28,000 words is basically a Bizarro book a week.
Yeah, I mean, what we're in now, May? Is it May? Yeah. So far this year, I actually tallied it up last week. I got 250,000 words since January.
You're already at 250,000 words.
I got two 70,000 word novels and I think four novellas and short stories.
So back to what I was saying.
Shit, to be fair.
No. I love prolific artists. I love it. I love the idea that writer's block doesn't slow you down, that you don't just finish a project and say, this is the book, or the movie, or the album. You don't get stuck in one thing. I don't know why that appeals to me so much. I think my blue-collar upbringing, the adults in my life were working, 12-hour shifts 7 days a week for months at a time, bringing in money. And as a child, when I saw that work ethic and respected that work ethic, I didn't want to do what they did. I didn't want to run a jackhammer or a blowtorch or do any of the hard labor that they did. That didn't appeal to me. But that work ethic did. That idea of working long hours and constantly working on something, that work ethic always stuck with me. And I do my best to be, I made 7 movies and I've written 4 or 5 books now. That's nothing compared to what you've been able to accomplish in the last 10 years, in the last decade, or even in this year with 250,000 words. But I do what I can when I can, and I try not to ever be between projects. I try to always constantly be working on something. So back to what I said about authors when they're trying, kind of getting started and learning their voice, and they look at that huge abyss of work that's out there. How do you battle with new ideas? How do you overcome that voice in the back of your head that says, this has all been done before and I don't have anything new to add? When you sit down and do 250,000 words, 250,000 words in a year, how do you come at these projects with a fresh voice and say to yourself, I have something new to add?
Yeah, I think the trick is to, because I mean, I've had time now to sort of develop my own voice. I'm not emulating anybody anymore, like you do when you first set out. You might try and copy somebody, not to the extreme of copying them, but you know, you let other people's language seeps into your own work. You know
What it is,
I think at the moment I'm confident in my own voice, and so without even thinking about it now, I can pretty much write. But I have two different ways, two different. It's really weird because I mean you've read my Bizarro stuff obviously, and also my sort of darker stuff, which is really serious. So to go from, I usually write a dark sort of, I don't know, atmospheric book, and then I'll write something that's funny and really bizarre. And I think I enjoy writing the bizarre stuff more. It just comes more naturally because I allow humour to sort of, I hope it's humour, to sort of slip into my work anyway. But I can't do that with the serious stuff. So, but I enjoy writing both, but I feel more free when I'm writing humorous and bizarre. And like you say, with Bizarro, I mean, you can do pretty much whatever you want. Giant hamsters, haunted vaginas, anything.
ass rabies.
Ass rabies. What else? Pretty much anything. So I think Bizarro is just allowing people to just go wild. And how can you ever run out of ideas writing Bizarro stuff?
I agree totally.
You know, there's not everything's been done in that category. Zombies have been done. If you're writing serious zombie stuff, that's all been done. Unless you're setting zombies in space, I think that's been done.
I've actually never read anything that's zombies, specifically zombies in space. Zombies for zombies' sake in space, you know what I mean? Like, there have been sort of weird alien worlds that have zombie-like creatures in them, but I've never specifically seen like a zombie infection on a space station or something like that. That'd be cool.
Pretty sure I've seen one, but I can't remember what it was called, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe in writer's block either. And I'm going to annoy a lot of people, but I've never really struggled it. I've been lucky, really. Usually, when I finish a book, I've already got ideas for the next book. That, you know, when you're writing something and it hits you straight away during the writing of that this is a great idea. Do you know what I mean? You've got to work on this one once this one's done.
Absolutely.
So I tend to have a whole thing lined up ready for once I put a book to bed anyway. So I've never really struggled.
So is
ideas. I don't know.
Did it come as like a Marlon Brando moment where you sat down to do this and you were like, well, this is the easiest thing in the world. I'm going to exploit this for all it's worth. Or did you develop this idea of being a prolific author over time? Did you have to work for it when you were younger? Did you make a conscious decision to say, I'm not just going to write one book and pat myself on the back and say, well, I can scratch writing a novel off my bucket list? Did you have to say, I want to write 300 novels in my life, or did it just come? Like I said, what I mean by Marlon Brando is, as an actor, he never struggled, he never tried. He just, brilliance came out of him with no effort whatsoever. Did these words from the beginning come out of you with no effort? These ideas, were they all there when, like, every time you reached up for an idea, was there something there, or did you have to work for it? Did it take training to get your brain to a point where you could pull ideas out and put them on paper as rapidly as you do?
No, I think it takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of discipline to sit down every day and try and churn out 4,000 words. I think if you've got that discipline and you're writing every day, you're only going to get better. And hopefully in about 10 years time I'll actually be all right. So it's one of those. It's just practice and discipline. That's the only thing. It's no good writing. It's no good writing a book and then just sitting back and expecting that book to be your, the one that makes you. Because in this day and age, and everybody's writing books, it's not like that anymore. You've really got to. I don't think being prolific is a huge part of it, but I think the more books that you write, the better you get. Yeah.
Did you have a mentor that explained that road to you, that told you that you're not?
That's the thing. No, I mean, I'm a bit of a hermit. I don't really leave the house, so other than online, I don't speak to anybody. I never had anybody tell me. I wish somebody like me would speak to me 10 years ago. But I never had that. So it was all self-taught and learned it the hard way, same way as everybody else. I mean, I got rejected hundreds of times, and now a rejection comes through, and I just delete it out of my inbox, mark it off on my thing, and send it back out to another market and move on. But I used to let rejections really get me down. But
yeah, I saw a guy just today, someone that I didn't, someone that's been published 4 or 5 times with books. He's got full-length books out, and we live in such a weird. I talk about this all the time. We live in such a weird era where self-publishing, you can put your own stuff out so quickly that it's hard to really tell who's out there getting rejected and who's not, because you can make the choice to be self-published, and not because you've been rejected from anyone, but because you want the freedom and control to promote your book and make your own money. But yeah. I actually witnessed a guy that's published, like I said, 4 or 5 times. He posted today about, and he did one of these. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. He did one of the classics. I just got my story accepted by publisher A. Publisher B sucks. You know what I mean by that is like a backhanded celebration. Like, I'm celebrating being published by talking about how much of an asshole the last guy was who rejected me. And I didn't expect that out of this guy, because he's got really cool looking books with really cool covers out, but he's like, so and so is a good is a professional publication because they just published me next to a bunch of big names. I might be a nobody, but these guys took a chance with me anyway. It's like, well, if you don't call yourself, the perception that you put out there.
I think I saw that post.
You did? Yeah, I bet you did. He's somebody that we all know, and I didn't expect that out of him, and I kind of was disappointed by that, because you can't let rejection bother you like that. It makes you, all that did was make him look like he doesn't believe in himself, instead of, because we all deal with rejection. We all get rejected more than we get accepted, and it's the way. I respect the guys with exactly what you just said. Does this market want my book? No. Scratch it off. Go to the next market. Go to the next market. Go to the next market. And there's no.
That's the only way. It's the only way to do it. If you let it get to you. I mean, a friend of mine, he's only been writing for I don't know, a year or so. And he started getting rejected, and then he started posting about all these rejections, and then he just said he was quitting because of the rejections. And to me, that was just like, right, you may as well stop now. If that's how you handle rejection, is just by these. I mean, these were like passive-aggressive sort of comments anyway, but. You've got to be strong. You've got to constantly just let it just wash over you and just crack on. Send it out to somebody else. It's subjective. It
is. It's really weird. It seems like the
very subjective.
The more egocentric the internet becomes with our Facebooks and our blogs, and the more we make the internet about me, people cannot handle rejection. it seems to be like the ability for someone to accept a no. They might accept no once, but if they get a no a second time, they melt down, because we have created these worlds that completely revolve around ourselves. And we are the star of the show, and we can't possibly be wrong, we can't possibly make a mistake, and we can't possibly be told that our art isn't up to par. And in days past, in years and decades past, people have had to deal with rejections for decades before they had any notion that they were good at what they were doing. I don't think that the modern Western ego has the resolve to handle that anymore, because it's so, like I said, we're in a weird time where you can say, fuck everybody else, I'm going to publish myself, or I'm going to make my own movie, or I'm going to write my own album and upload it to iTunes and do my own album art. I don't have to deal with rejection. And the thing is, you see success like that. Look at Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber he wasn't trying out for anything. The dude was making YouTube videos and got ultra famous. He's one of the most famous fucking recording artists of all time now. What's that? Oh yeah, totally. And he never had to deal with rejection. He made himself famous. And it's really weird. It's a weird time
his
where
rejection's coming now, though.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, what as Westerners, as Westerners, we put our celebrities through the hero journey the same way we do in our fiction. We love to build up a hero in a celebrity, but they have to be willing to sacrifice. If they don't sacrifice something at the end of the second act and rise from the ashes like a Michael Jackson or a Britney Spears, we have to tear them down. We tear them down and destroy them and say, now you have to build yourself back up. And when they do, or when they die, and when they really die, look how quickly we absolutely detested Michael Jackson. And the moment he died, he became the ultra superstar we all wanted him to be. After we tore him down and we made him out to be an alien. We made him out to be this mutant nothing. You're a nothing. You're a child molesting weirdo. We didn't let him go out in public. We completely destroyed him. We took everything from him. His entire, persona, took it from him. And when he died, we gave it right back. Now Michael Jackson's Michael Jackson again. Why do we do that? I don't know. But I think it's why the Christian religion is so successful, because there's something in the human DNA that requires those steps in a hero's journey. And I think that's why I think the reason that Star Wars is the biggest motion picture event in history, I was talking with my buddy about this the other day, I think it's because the Bible left out the Luke Skywalker part of Jesus' journey. And Luke Skywalker is that portion of Jesus' life that didn't get recorded in the Bible. And the reason that Star Wars exploded into what it is we're getting that, what we needed from our hero that we didn't get from our religion, we're getting it from our movie. And that's why it's huge. And anybody that emulates Star Wars and creates the hero's journey the same way Luke went through, they find success, because again, in the DNA of heroes, however that exists in our psyches, there's a gap missing. And as fiction writers, we put that gap together, or as like we're talking about with like recording artists and singers, that we force them to go through that journey that we don't get to see Jesus go through in the Bible. I think that's just my personal hypothesis of how fiction works, or how the hero identity works in our brains. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but that's my hypothesis.
That's as good as anybody's.
Where were we, Adam Millard, before I started talking about Jesus and Luke Skywalker and Justin Bieber?
We were talking about... we were talking about rejection.
Yeah, talking about having to take rejection and the ego that comes from it, and not having to do it anymore.
To move on.
Huh?
I mean, people think, once you've written 16 or 15 books, that you don't get rejected, that you get invited to all these orgies and things.
Right.
And it's not like that.
Tell us.
Like that. I have to break into the orgies like everybody else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about you getting. Let's talk about the. You got your first book published in 2004, and you said that was the first full-length work you ever wrote, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And how many attempts did it take to get a publisher to pick that book up?
That was probably in excess of 30. And these were manuscript pages. This was sent out, snail mail, never to receive back these manuscripts.
Yeah.
And the ones that you do receive back hadn't been read. So yeah, this was back in the day before it was so easy just to send an email. It
right.
Was, and I was living in a bedsit at the time, so my mail was always being stolen. So I mean, I could have been accepted 20 times and I wouldn't have known.
Jeez. Tell us a little bit about. Tell us how you would go about finding the publications to submit to in 2004. Did you have magazines that you would go through the classified sections? Were you on the internet?
Magazine. You know the Writers and Artists Handbook, big book that we have in this. I don't know whether it's an American publication or but the Writers and Artists Handbook, usually 2000 and something it'll say on it. It's released every year with a full. It's like the yellow pages for writers and artists, publishers, what they accept, the address to send it to, manuscripts, format that they accept. So yeah, just pretty much all the information that you need. I mean, you've got Duotrope, you've got what is it, Submission Grinder, you've got a few.
Dark
online.
Markets is another one.
Yeah, but back in the day, you had this wedge of a book that you can still get now, and I highly recommend that. You know, for writers and setting out now, would be to pick up that book and use it. It's very useful.
Now, how many? You said you went through about 30 rejections or possible acceptances, but you didn't get your mail because of your living situation at the time.
There's some guy somewhere actually living my life. He's probably that book might have been he's there somewhere. He's probably got a mohawk and everything.
Probably so. What was the time span? You said that acceptance came in 2004. When did you complete that manuscript and start sending it out?
I would have completed it in 2004 and sent it out. If I remember right, it got picked up in the October. So I still got the newspaper clipping somewhere, not in here. Yeah, and it was quite a big thing for me. It was like I say, the book was just. I've read the book since, and now it's quite embarrassing because it's not my best work. It never is. You know what I mean?
No, it never is. You're always better.
Your next book's always going to be the best.
Yeah.
But reading this one back, it was very. Yeah, it was very Lamesque. It was very. New family moves to new town, meets a girl. She's being abused by 3 uncles. He has to go in and rescue her. It's all very violent in a sort of Last House on the Left type of thing. But I actually gave a copy to every member of my family when I had my contributor copies come through. And I told all of my family never to read it. I just said, leave it on your shelf. Do not pick it up, ever. And I think my grandmother, I think she got round to reading it last year.
Oh no!
I haven't heard from her.
Oh no!
Your grandma read it and just quit talking to you.
I think she's still alive. I don't know.
Now, was there a lot of personal stuff from your family issues that you were working through in the book? Like, are they going to read it and get really upset with you for airing kind of family stuff that shouldn't have been made public?
No, it wasn't autobiographical. wasn't about me. It was definitely just a little bit overboard for a book. It was very incestuous. The material, 3 uncles and 1 girl. It wasn't the kind of book that you should give to your grandmother. Really. I'd rather give her, a copy of HAMSTERDAMNED and tell her to just go straight to Help My Ass Has Rabies. Start with that one.
That's awesome, man.
And then work back to the abuse.
But and how old were you in 2004, if you don't mind giving away your age?
No, I was 24. I'm 34 this year.
So the 24-year-old Adam Millard got published, but liked alcohol more than writing at the time, didn't he?
Yes. It's what I like to call the lost decade. Pretty much from the age of 19 to 3 years ago, I drank a lot. Pretty much everything. I must have been unconscious for about 8 of the 10 years.
Now, did that inhibit you from writing, or were you?
Really?
What's that?
I fucked up, really. I've lost 10 years somewhere along the line. I remember being 22, and then now I'm 30 odd, and I don't know what happened.
Were you writing during that period, or was it just lost altogether?
If I was, I don't know what I've fucking done with it. It was a bad decade. I didn't write anything between 2004 and 2009.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So you had been balls to the wall writing, and you had been willing to accept rejection 30 times to get your first book published. What happened that caused you what was there a correlation between finally having the novel published and going on a bender for years and not going back to it?
It was a combination of things, because I suffer with severe depression. You wouldn't think it, but this was at a time when I didn't have it under control. I mean, these last 5 years, it's been more in my own hands. But from 2004 to 2009, I just thought, the world was against me, and the best thing to do was to try and be unconscious for most of it. Do you know what I mean? It was
absolutely.
I lost a lot of family and friends, and people tried to help, and I pushed them away, and I just got more drunk, and in the end, it was only me that could do it, and I didn't have the strength to do it myself. Got it under control, and met my wife, and she helped me kick the booze for good, and she stuck with me through everything. So I 100% think it was all down to my wife, really. She helped me to kick it all.
So you were still drinking heavily, and did you meet her in 2009?
Yes, 2009. She didn't know I was drinking at the time. I didn't say, hey, you look nice. By the way, if you want to, I'm an alcoholic, but I didn't do that. It was I hid it from her for a good 6 months.
Well, that's what
pretty good.
The best alcoholics drink alone, right? They compartmentalize their alcoholism, and they at least think that they're hiding it from everyone around them. Sometimes they succeed, and sometimes they blatantly fail, but they've convinced themselves. I went through a really bad period with alcohol and drugs for a long time, and I was actually about 24 or 25 when I cut myself off completely, and I wouldn't touch anything. I quit. I had smoked cigarettes at the time and did a few drugs and drank all the time, and I cut myself off from everything. And I actually went 7 years with no alcohol, not a drop, not a single time. I didn't fall off the wagon one time, it was a very clarifying experience, especially when you sober up, you realize that a lot of those lies, the biggest lies you were telling to yourself, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got to the point where I didn't know whether you convince yourself that the lies are true. You tell so many lies that you forget who you've lied to,
Right.
And it got to the point where. My wife was like, "I'll support you, but you got to get help," and I did, and I've been sober for 4 years, nearly 5 years, something like that. I don't know.
So
Energy drinks.
Was it your wife that encouraged you to get back into writing, or was that a symptom of your sobriety?
I'd written the first zombie book, and that was actually just on my computer, just sat there for about 2 or 3 years, and she convinced me to carry on and to write. So yeah, it's pretty much all her, really.
And so you've got this zombie book that's been sitting on your computer for years, and she said, let's get this thing back out there in the world. Did it take much to get the zombie book published? Was it as much of an effort, or more of an effort, or less of an effort once you had your first publication under your belt? You spend years avoiding your writing, and then you come back to it. How did it feel? What was the process of getting back into author mode?
A lot of things had changed in the years that I'd been asleep. Now you could actually put books out yourself, so that's what I did with the zombie book. I sort of just put it out there myself and let people decide whether it was any good or not. It was more that I don't think I was quite ready to. I'd just come out of being a heavy drunk, and I think it was just easier for me to put it out myself at that time than it would have been to send it out and go through all that and then probably hit the wagon again once the rejection started flying in. I don't think I was strong enough at that point to deal with it. But she convinced me that it was okay and it was quite good, so I sent it out and self-published it, and it still does quite well nowadays. So.
It did pick up steam as your self-published work. It was a success.
Yeah. I think the whole self-published thing is good in that. Some people it works, for others it doesn't, but the best way to do it is to be a hybrid author and do a bit of both. That's what I wanted to do at that point. I'd been traditionally published, and then I'd been drunk for a while. So then I'd been self-published, and then it took me a while to gather some steam and to write other things, because obviously, I mean, the zombie western had been sat on my computer for a while, and then I started writing the short stories and getting those sent out to different people and different publishers, and started getting accepted, and you just work up from there. You get rejected a lot, but that's never going to change. You could be one of the biggest authors in the world, and you're still going to get rejected.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, people are going to read a Stephen King story and go, "Oh, we can't reject Stephen King, but this story sucks." But it's Stephen King, so.
Right. Absolutely. So you're up to, did you say 15 or 16 publications now?
16. 5 this year so far. This has been my busiest year. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I just knew that. I think it's probably because I've done less short stories this year. Last year I was doing a lot of anthologies, a lot of short stories and flash fiction, and I think this year I wanted to just concentrate on more on my long form, just get some novellas and some novels done, and yeah, trying to sort out some stuff with agents and see what happens. But I promised myself that 2014 I'd be a bit more in control, a bit more professional with what I was doing, and I actually had a goal of trying to get some long stuff done and try and get an agent, and try and do it the proper way, and try and get paid.
Right, definitely. So, speaking of getting paid, at what point in this process did you become an independent author? At what point, from the time you self-published your zombie book until now, at what point did you begin to start paying your bills with the books?
Would have been 2011. Because originally, I mean, I was a welder. I used to make mezzanine floors and staircases, fire ladders, fire escape ladders. So I mean, I was a welder for 12 years, and I was writing at the time and drinking. Not drinking and welding at the same time. That's pretty dangerous. But yeah, I was a welder, and then in 2011 I just started earning enough money from the zombie books to write full time, and it's sort of I quit, and then my wife got pregnant, and so it kind of worked out that I was staying at home and writing, not so much anymore, but staying at home and writing, and she goes out to, she still enjoys her job, and I stay at home, look after my son, and write when I can, and yeah, I'm fortunate enough that it pays the bills now, which is all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, how did that feel? 2011, you've got zombie books that are going crazy, and you look at your bills and you realize, you look at what you're earning and you look at your bills and you realize, I can do this. I can quit my welding job and I can write full time. How did that feel because we have a lot of authors that work with us that haven't achieved that goal yet. How did that moment feel when you could finally say, I'm done. I'm a writer. I'm a full-time author. This is it.
Well, it feels really good at the time, because you think, right, that's it. I'm doing this for a living. I'm staying at home. I'm living the dream. I'm writing, and then you realise that you're still doing a job. It's still, it's different in that you're enjoying what you're doing, but you still have to wake up every day. I can write for 6 to 8 hours, or now that my son, I tend to wait until my wife comes home from work and then I'll write. So it's I could probably still do another job at the same time as the writing. It's just I don't have to. So
that's all a writer wants, is to not have to.
Yeah, I don't have to. I can just sit around drinking coffee all day and then try and knock out a few words on the night. So it's I'm really happy, really. I mean, this time 5 years ago, I was probably asleep in a corner, covered in shit.
That's a great comeback, man. That's a great comeback if I've ever heard one. And I'm really proud of you, man. And it's a great honor to be among your publishers. And we met you last year. You said you were doing a lot of anthologies. You did our anthology, Strange vs. Lovecraft, last year, and then and then you proposed Hamsterdam to us, and I am an absolute sucker for something like that. Like you said, the sci-fi movie, mashup title. It was just, I didn't even need to to think twice before I said we have to fast track this. Let's get this Sean Ferrari. Let's get this book going. Let's get Amsterdam out there in the world. Right, Sean Ferrari?
I think it was the other way around. I was telling you we need to get this shit out there. Well, he sent us that story for Strange vs. Lovecraft. As soon as I read it the first time, I was like, this dude has some fucking talent. I love this dude. And then I was excited as fuck when he submitted a link. I was like, sweet, fuck yeah. So we read it, and I'm like, it's fucking awesome. Let's fucking get this done.
Definitely. Do you have any questions for Adam, Sean?
There's a couple comments on the YouTube page, but my personal question is, how did you hear of us to submit to Strange vs. Lovecraft?
I think when you surround yourself with writers and authors and publishing companies on social media, it doesn't take long to figure out who everyone is. You know, people are like, oh, you've got to check these people out, and then you're like, oh shit, yeah, I better add him, and then before you know it, you know everybody. And I think I heard about Strange House through I'd seen a couple of the anthologies that you'd put out, and I think I saw the call for Strange vs. Lovecraft on, however it was, Facebook or I can't remember now. And I just thought, this is just awesome. This is crazy, strange, Lovecraft, and just bizarro as well. So I thought I'll try that. Because I mean, I do like writing in Lovecraft's world and you know, using the mythos, and then you got W.H. Pugmire involved, and I was like, shh, you know, this is gonna be awesome.
W.H. Pugmire is one of the most well-respected living Lovecraftian authors, and has one of the most authentic, weird styles. He writes this antiquated style that makes, anytime you read a W.H. Pugmire story, you feel like you're reading a story written 70 years ago by a dead guy, but Pugmire is very much alive and very much kicking and still completing works every year, and we were very privileged to get him to kind of be. Pugmire was kind of like our seal of professionalism for Strange vs. Lovecraft. Like if we have Pugmire, and now we're going to get, you know, I actually asked quite a few other high-level Lovecraftian guys to be involved in the project, and they all ignored me. But Pugmire was kind enough to give us a story, because I wanted it to be, my vision for Strange vs. Lovecraft was a traditional Lovecraft author like Pugmire, and then a crazy fucking weirdo. There it is. Say something, Adam, and get your, so it brings the picture up.
Oh yeah, Strange vs. Lovecraft. This, yeah. Do you see that?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So yeah, that my idea was originally to have like a W.H. Pugmire, and then a crazy Adam Millard story, and then another traditional Lovecraftian, and kind of juxtapose traditional Lovecraft with modern bizarro Lovecraftian weirdness. But it didn't work out that way, so it ended up being a story just chock full of fucked up shit. That's perfectly fine with me. When it came down to it, I was like, well, we didn't get the traditional Lovecraft the way I wanted, but we've got a bunch of fucking wacky shit. So we published it. We went that direction with it, and I'm very happy with it. It's one of my favorite books that we put out. And as Sean said, we really we noticed you know, so every once in a while there's a guy or lady that we get a submission from where they're just way above the level of submissions we normally get. And Sean, I think we've managed to publish a full length from just about everybody like that, from John Bruni to Adam Millard to KM Teep. We've been able to kind of.
I want the Rich Bottles one.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, we definitely need a Rich Bottle. Rich, if you're watching and listening, Rich, send us a book. Send a book our way. We'd love to publish you. What do we have in the chat room there, Sean, for Adam?
Well, Pedro Proenza, he just had a comment. Said that your facial hair is awesome, and he wants you to write a story about it as a sentient character.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, Adam. Because I remember introducing you whenever your book came out and we did our interview, our written interview. That I said you look like I wish the physical embodiment of my dick, if it were a person, would look. So as a guy that claims as a self-proclaimed hermit and recovering alcoholic, you're covered from your neck to your wrists and tattoos all down your chest, and you sort of look like like the ringleader of a traveling freak show from Eastern Europe. What is with the getup?
It's I'm a bit of a hermit, but I'm ready just in case. If anything goes off, I'm just going to run out into the street naked, just with a loincloth, and just start stabbing people.
I love it.
I don't know. I quite like the. I've always been a bit different. You know, tattoos. It's not just a gimmick. It's it's actually, you know, me. I used to have long hair, long black hair when I was going through a bit of a Paradise Lost phase. But the moustache is quite new. I just wanted a handlebar moustache. I just thought, nobody's doing it anymore. I just want to bring it back. But in Britain, I don't know whether, I mean, Pedro, I don't know whether he knows that in Britain it's actually illegal not to have a moustache. You have to have a moustache. Even the women.
Even the women.
Especially the women.
Do we have anything else? Do we have anything else in there, Sean?
John Bruni wanted to get on here for a minute. He said he has an announcement about a future Strange Stories Saturday writer, and he said it's very relevant to today's vidcast.
Let's get him in here.
So send him an invite. And before, figured I'd mention before we went live on this thing, my girlfriend said that she wants me to get a mohawk and a mustache like that too. So. Thanks,
bet
Adam.
she does. Let me see here if I can get John Bruni on. You guys can go ahead and talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Hey, so how's it going?
Yeah, quite well.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, Kevin and I were talking about the submission to Strange vs. Lovecraft. There's very rarely how we do things when we get a bunch of submissions. We all the readers, we have some pre-readers, we have other editors. We split up a bunch of different stories to send to each person, and then everything that people want accepted, everything gets read by more than one person. So it's very rare that we just read something and it'll be either Kevin or me read something and we just say, this, nobody else needs to read this, this is going in. We're definitely putting this one in. Like you said, it happens from very, very rarely. Kristen Teep, John Bruni, Rich Bottles, and you. I think that's, but I read your story and I'm like, I'm not quite sure who this dude is. We've never published him before. He sent this, but this is amazing, and we're putting it in there. There's no way we're not.
Thank you.
Hey, John, jump on Facebook real quick and give me your Gmail email address. I can't find it.
He just posted on YouTube saying, "Am I the only one who lost the show?"
We're still live.
Apparently he lost it. You have his phone number?
Yeah.
Here, let me message him real quick.
Isn't it awesome, Adam, how every time we try to do one thing, it takes us 5 fucking minutes to get it together? Where are you, Fred Slow? We need Fred Slow doing this shit for us.
We thought we could do this alone. I guess I could have muted that before I started typing, huh?
There's nothing else going on. I'm trying to find John Grundy.
Grundy.
So what specifically are you working on right now?
Well, I finished a book. I think you read it, or you're reading it. I've just finished. I could probably tell you. I don't know whether I can tell you, but I've got something coming out with Rooster Republic. In a few months. I don't know when that is.
No shit, that's awesome.
I've got yeah.
Very cool.
I've got something coming out with Harlequin.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What are you doing there?
It's not Mills and Boone, but it's a dark gothic thing. One of my serious ones.
Do those do better for you?
I haven't really started anything. No. Not really. It's all. I don't know. It depends. It depends how well the publisher pushes it as well. I mean, it depends on the size of the publisher and their following, I suppose.
Right.
I mean, you know me. I mean, I try not to pimp myself. Really, I rarely actually promote my own. I try to promote it, but not to the extent that some people promote.
Right.
There's nothing worse than being on Facebook or something, and all of a sudden your feed fills up with one author posting in 250 groups.
Isn't that the truth?
Really, it does my Swede in, seriously. I'm like, dude, does it really work for you? Because at the end of the day, I just find it really annoying. We all have to promote, but
Yeah, there's also just banging on one. When you're banging on one door over and over again and not getting an answer, banging louder isn't going to make anybody open the door.
I mean, as well as I do. I mean, social media is the best place to try and flog your wares as well. I mean, there's other ways to do it. I mean, create some content for your blog, or do something. Don't just spam Facebook constantly.
Right.
It doesn't work. I've never done it, but I assume it doesn't work. some might work. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. It's like
I don't think you're doing anything wrong, Adam Millard. I think you're doing Adam Millard. I think you're doing everything right. John Bruni. I can't hear you.
He's muted.
You're muted. Did I mute you?
Okay, how's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Buddy? Welcome to the show,
Hey,
John Bruni.
Hi, everybody.
You said you had an announcement for us.
Yeah, actually, well, first of all, I wanted to mention, last time we were talking about who's going to be on the SSS soon, and it's going to be Rich Bottles Jr. next week. I was just reading his story again for posting next week, and I was just absolutely disgusted with it. It's great. I love it. So I think you all are going to love it. But I should also mention that coming soon in the future from Strange Story Saturdays, we have our very own Adam right here. He's going to be one of the guys.
Hey! Fantastic!
What's that story called?
I also wanted to mention, first of all, that you remember the old lady who sued McDonald's because she spilled coffee all over her crotch?
Of course.
Well, let's just say that the people in this story, they really outdo her. You'll see what I mean very soon.
Fantastic. What's the name of this story, Adam?
It's Cannibal Carvery.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's a nice family story.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to read it. And John, you're doing a fantastic job with Strange Story Saturdays, brother. You actually went out and sent the call for submissions out to some big big places, didn't you?
Yeah, we got Duotrope that has a listing for us now. I've been working on Writer's Market, but they haven't been getting back to me. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but Duotrope is really important. So we've been getting a lot more submissions since we got this listing.
Fantastic. Are they good submissions, or are they kind of a mixture of nonsense and it's because when it's just me promoting and saying send stuff to Strange Story Saturdays, I know you are just getting fucked up shit. The only people that respond to me are fucking weirdos. So going to a professional market, are you getting more subdued kind of normal fiction submitted to you, or is it still just fucking weirdos?
It's still fucking weirdos. But one thing has changed. We are getting a lot more less grammatical stories.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that your listing there may have helped us reach a milestone that I wanted to mention during this broadcast. Since I implemented the WordPress kind of backbone for our website, it used to just be an HTML page that I created. Now it actually uses WordPress and counts the the page count, how many page views we have. Since I did that last year, we are achieving a milestone. This month we are going to reach our 20,000th page view. So I guess that's cool. I guess that's good for us. StrangeHouseBooks.com has received 20,000 views in the last year, and it's not a million a week like Ain't It Cool News, but it's certainly a good thing for me. It shows me that we're definitely out there in the world that we want to be in. The people that we want to know we exist know we're here, and we're really building Strange House into something. And I couldn't do it without all you guys, everybody here on camera and everybody watching. We're all working together to build this into something really cool. And give you guys a hand. Thank you very much for helping push this dream into something cool, man. I think that we've got a really weird, wacky publishing house, and I appreciate all of your involvement. You guys have all done a fantastic job building it to what it is today. You fuckers. You fucking weirdos. Adam, let's close this up, buddy. Is there anybody else in the chat room, Sean, wanting to talk to us?
There's a guy saying that, judging by Adam's accent, he's probably about 40 miles from you. He says he's in Stoke-on-Trent. And
Stoke, yeah, that's not far.
Yeah,
you European fuckers can really pick yourselves out of the.
That's wild.
You just sound like every other European dude I've ever heard.
See, I don't know what I sound like to you. To me, I haven't even got an accent. But Stoke, yeah.
We're the bastards with an accent.
Yeah, we have these shitty accents. Try to do a Kevin Strange accent, Adam Millard. Try to make yourself sound like my dumbass.
Try to do a Kevin Strange accent, Adam Millard. Like that.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But I've always noticed when European guys try to do the American accent, it's so hard to get their tongue to just be dumb. It's like you make a concerted effort to make as little effort as possible as you're forming your words. We have the laziest accent in. Basically, we use it's how to sound American. Just be really lazy with your pronunciation. You guys have this wacky pronunciation of shit. I don't understand why you put so much effort into it. You guys put so much effort into your words.
See, I thought, right, that I'd get called on my accent before now, right, by anybody in America, but it took somebody from Stoke to pick up on it, which is literally just up the road. It's
Where are you?
I'm in Wolverhampton, which is not Birmingham.
That's exactly what he said. He said, judging by your accent, you're from Birmingham or the surrounding area.
This is the thing, right? Birmingham is 15 miles away, but to everybody else, we sound like we're from Birmingham, but it's not Birmingham.
That's fucking wild.
I'm looking up that UFC fighter that I was talking about because he sounds just like you. So I bet he's from Birmingham too. Let me see if I can find him. Guys, go ahead and keep talking.
I'm staring at you, man.
I do have one thing that I did find, in case anyone's wondering, from last time.
Oh, shit. Look at that.
That's right. And here it says, down by law, I shot on the sheriff. I don't know if you can...
Oh, my God.
Fantastic, John Bruni. Fantastic.
Cock smoke.
Yes!
Oh, shit.
You got to talk so it becomes full screen. Here, I can actually make you full screen.
Here's Cocksmoke, the story of one really lonely sheriff.
Oh my God, I love it! I love it! Is that the whole story, or does it go to the next page?
It goes to the next page. You can see there's just a ton more right here.
Oh, I love it! John Bruni, I want
a page.
I want a copy of that.
I only have this one, man. And, hey, the pages are not sticky.
Liar.
I should change that, though. And also,
there was me. I was talking about writing unsuitable material, but nothing like cocksmoke.
I also found the other story that I wrote, if I can turn the page here.
Conor McGregor is the name of the fighter that I was thinking of. Do you know who that is, Adam?
Yeah, we're all friends down here.
Yeah, like all black people know each other, right?
Well, what I was saying was his accent sounds very similar to yours, so I didn't know if he was from Birmingham, maybe you would know that he's the popular fighter from Birmingham. Let me see where he's from.
I'm not sure. McGregor doesn't really sound like a Birmingham name.
No, he's going to end up being Scottish or something, and I'm going to look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, in which case you say that we all sound Scottish.
Yeah, he's a fucking Irish mixed martial arts fighter. He's from Ireland. He's from Dublin, Ireland. I'm a fucking asshole. What were you saying, John?
Oh no, I found the other magazine as well. This one, also indulged for men.
Excellent.
And here's that pull quote I was talking about, if you can see it right there. Yeah, right there. Let me get the reflection off of it.
Feeling guilty for being such a pig.
Yeah, that's it. That's
jacked
the one.
my meat. Who is the dude? Hang on, bring the dude back up.
Oh, you mean the cover dude?
No, the guy on the pull quote.
Oh yeah.
What is that guy's problem?
He's supposed to be the private investigator in question.
Is that a CGI guy?
I think it is.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gotta love my pornography.
I love it. That's fantastic. Let's give John Bruni a hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Gay porn, yeah.
Oh my. Oh my. This thing's gonna end up being deleted because we're showing all this illustrated man junk. Adam, give us some closing words of wisdom. We're gonna get out of here.
I would say thanks for having me, and we're nowhere near Dublin.
Kevin's trying to get it down to the city. He doesn't even have the right country.
Not even in the right fucking country.
It's not even the same island.
You literally have to cross an ocean to get there. Oh, you guys sound exactly the same. Adam, we're looking at another story of yours. We might possibly be publishing another Adam Millard book in 2015. We shouldn't jump the gun because Sean still wants to read it and make sure that it's up to snuff. But everybody be on the lookout for a new Adam Millard book. And you're about ready to start editing John Bruni's book for next period, right?
Yep, about to start that very soon.
How do you feel about that, John Bruni?
I'm very pleased with this. I am very happy.
We're going to be contacting.
I love this book.
We're going to be contacting the cover artist and get him started on that this week. So,
I can't wait.
thank you so much, Adam Millard, for joining us. You're an inspiration, not only for your prolific writing ability, but also being able to kick alcoholism, kick it right in its ass, show it that that drugs are not as powerful as the human will to survive and to succeed. And I wish you many, many more years of sobriety. And we are your stateside family. If you ever need us, we're always here for you. And we love your fiction. We can't wait to read more of your stuff. You just had a book. You're having a book right now translated into German, are you not?
Yeah, one of my the whole series, the whole zombie series, is being translated over at Voodoo Press, which I think it's the first book's released in October.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
I've got to learn German now.
That's fantastic, and we wish you much more success. Anyone that wants to grab a copy of Hamsterdamned, you can find that at strangehousebooks.com, Amazon.com, all over the world. And we can't wait to do some more work with you in the future again, Adam. And I want to have you back on the show soon because you're an awesome dude, and you look like what I wish my dick looked like if it had been shot by some mad scientist's anthropomorphizing ray, and my dick became a human and started hanging out with me and maybe helping me write fiction or shooting a film with me. Maybe I could act across from my own dick, and I would want it to look just like you, sir. So I think
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not, Kevin.
I thank you for being an inspiration to my dick person.
Definitely, I do think every dick should look like me. I think that's the future. I think evolution will sort of decide, like, all these dicks just start growing mohawks and tattoos.
Sleeve tattoos all up the shaft. Right to the fucking, right to the head, right to the tattoo will stop at the circumcision point. Are you circumcised? I bet you're not.
Just a little handlebar moustache over the urethra.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Strange the World. Strange the World.
Strange the world.
Strange the world.
Strange the world.
Strange the world.
World the strange.
Strange the world. Strange the world. Strange the world. Everybody make sure you vote in the bazaar. John Bruni. John Bruni, congratulations for Tales of Questionable Taste landing on the preliminary ballot for Bizarro for the Wonderland Awards.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm very grateful for it. I'm not going to win, but I'm very grateful for it.
Did you vote yet? Have you sent your votes in?
I did.
Awesome. Excellent. Adam, make sure you send your votes in too. And Sean, you fucker, you better vote for me.
I'm not telling you. I'm voting for John Bruni.
Strange the world. Strange the world.
Strange the fucking world.
Strange the world.
Strange it.
Strange the world. Strange the world.
The world?
Strange the world.
Strange the world. Strange the world.